Hey guys, I just wanted to show you just really quickly how to do a very easy project making these wooden knots. You can use just scrap wood. I use scrap 2x12s that I just had left over from one of the projects that we have done earlier. So very easy. You can use just about anything that you've got lying around, and they end up looking pretty cool. This was our first attempt at making it. I used a couple of different methods. There's times where I used a hole saw. In fact, you'll notice the holes that look a little more perfectly round, I use the hole saw. Other times I use the jigsaw because I wanted to show that you can use a jigsaw, and that's a tool that most people have. But they were really a lot of fun to make and very, very easy to make, and again, just with scrap wood. The first thing that I did is I just sketched out the circles that I wanted on my 2x12. The first hole, I drilled a hole in the middle and just started cutting with my jigsaw. Not the smoothest way to cut holes, but we weren't really that concerned with making it perfect because we wanted it a little beat up. I didn't have a hole saw big enough to do the outer ring, but I did have one for the inner ring. Ultimately, you would want to use a hole saw to cut the outer ring first, then the inner ring to keep everything smooth and centered. I used the Spider hole saw system, just picked this kit up at Lowe's, made things very, very smooth, and I love the rapid core eject system, makes it so much easier to use. We used a router just to take the edges off both on the outside and inside of each of the rings. We weren't that concerned about making it beautiful. We wanted it to look a little rough and beat up, but we also wanted to take some of the rough edges off it. So we went ahead and sanded it, not completely smooth, but enough to where it was a little more manageable. The trick to the whole thing is to take one of the rings and snap it with the grain. This is the part I was most concerned with because I'd never done it, and one of the reasons I made the rings a little bit thinner than I normally would. But I didn't get this videoed because it took far less pressure than I assumed it would. I stuck it in the clamp and just played with it for a minute to see how much pressure, and it snapped almost immediately. You then just go ahead and take the broken ring, insert it into the other two rings, and then glue it and clamp it and let it dry. Once it's dried, you can sand it smooth, and it's actually very difficult to see where the break happened. Once the glue is dried and sanded, you can go ahead and stain it and seal it and really make it match whatever decor you're planning to place it with. I hope that was helpful to you. As always, if you like our videos, go ahead and hit subscribe, share with your friends and family. We have a lot of fun doing what we do with DIY, and hopefully this is helpful to you.